Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing pack 8 of the award-winning build from Agora Models. I'm building the Apache AH-64 attack helicopter. I mean, check this out, look at it. I bought this back from Wonderfest. Now, this was bought for me by Ian Schwartz from Pitstain Hobbies here. The Hobby Time modelers presented this to me on their live stream from Wonderfest. It's a little bit snug here, that's why I'm keeping it open. I haven't lost that much weight, but I do think I like the way it just drapes over me when I keep it open there. Look at it's got my name on it as well, World of Wayne. So if you are wondering what I'm building today, the Apache AH-64 attack helicopter, which is actually behind me here, but I do have all the parts here. Now, this is an award-winning build as voted for by the community. We had a vote at the end of 2024, and that won, and I presented Agora Models with their prize in January. So I do have the next 2 packs here, actually, but today we are going to be doing pack 8. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So once again, if there's any artillery today, I'm going to be putting that to one side. I won't be doing that today. I'm going to do all the artillery at the end. At the moment, I'm just focusing on the helicopter. And we do have some decals here. Don't know if these decals are for the helicopter at this stage or if that's for artillery. We're about to find out, I'm guessing. But the first thing we're going to be doing in stage 58, as you can see here, we've got the circuit board. So I'm bringing over this section here. I'm going to need to turn it upside down, but you can see the problem here. That obviously we've got this aerial in now, and I've got the prop on the back here, so I'm going to have to hold it kind of like that. And I don't have a jig that's that big to actually hold this in, but the circuit board, looking like this, is going to be going on this way, just over the points here. I want to make sure I'm not pinching any wires in there. And it's going to be held in with 4 KP screws. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this off camera and put those screws in. And as you can see, when that's in, it should look like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 59, we've got a circuit board. Now we're going to have a remote control. Let's open this up. And the remote control is going to need a battery. Let's just have a look. It takes a 2025 battery. So, looking at my box of batteries here, a 2025. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. Let's have a check. There you go, 2025. So that's just going to go in here like that. And then I can return that back to the caddy. The remote works, and you can see the light comes on when I press the button, so that's good. But that's all there is to do in that stage. Now this model comes with a diorama, hence why we've got so much artillery, and we have to build a ginormous base for it. And for that reason, we're now going to be starting the base. Now we're not building the base all in one go, so we have got the parts to start the base here in stage 60. And what I need to do first is just open all of these plates up, and I need to align them in a certain way so that all of the dots on the tops here for me are going in this direction, then 1 up, 3, 1 up, 3, 1 up. So they're like that. We do have some lenses in here, just so you know, so we don't want to lose them. Okay, I've got 2 of these blocks here, and they're going to be going, hopefully you can see on the top camera, just over the tops here and here. And they're held in with these flanged black screws. Now these are RP screws. Now they are quite chunky screws, so I'm going to use my bigger screwdriver here. So they're in that edge just there. I can put that to one side, and I'm now going to be fitting storage hatches. Let's just open these, and these are labeled. As you can see, we've got an L and an R, and we've got the same on these little hatches here, L and R. So bringing over what we were working on with the main fuselage, with the cockpit area here, going to be using this. So if this is the left side here, or the port side, I'm going to be taking this hatch and just putting that into the indent there like that. Then we've got the smaller one fitting on this side, just there. Turn it over. Now they haven't asked me to glue these in. I don't know if we'll be screwing them eventually, but they do hold themselves quite tight in there. If they do come out, it's going to be easy just to glue them in afterwards. But there we go, that's those two in. Just put that to one side, because then I've got these two details again. And again, I apologise that I don't know the name of these parts. But this has got D-shaped pattern on here, so it's a case of just pushing that in. So that makes one unit there. We're not actually doing anything with that at the moment, so let me just put that to one side. Now I need these lenses, because when we did the nacelle here, you see we've put the red ones in on this one. We haven't put anything in this one here. That's what those green lenses here are for. As you can see, we've got the position for them here. So it's just a case of lining them up and pushing them into the holes. And there you go, when that's in, it should look like that. That does mean I've got one spare lens here, but that's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 61, probably best on this one that I just open everything up, because we're going to make a chain gun. Now, this looks detailed. Check all of this out. Okay. The first thing, I'm going to need glue for this. And the first part I need looks just like this. I'm going to put some glue just on the lugs here and here. And insert this into this carriage just here. So, there we go. That's one piece now. Okay, I've got this magazine here, which is going to be fitting into the two holes here. Now, they're not asking me to glue that, but it is quite tight fitting. And then this is where we're getting the electrics here. I'm going to be feeding the electrics through the hole just next to that magazine like this. And it's going to be mounted under this area just here. So let me just manipulate this into this area. And there you go. That's quite neat in there, as you can see. That's how that's been fitted. Sort of goes in sideways. I'm going to be keeping that in place by putting this cover over the top, and it should clip in quite tight there, so that's in like that. Now with this wire, I need to make sure it's going either side of this magazine here, and we don't want to be pinching any of those wires, so it should look like that there. Because I'm going to be taking the other side of this magazine now and clipping these together. Perfect. And you see the wires coming out the bottom there. That's good. Put that to one side. And I need to take these two parts here now, which I'm guessing is the mount. This is just going to be going over the top here. And it's held in with an LP screw. Got that here. On the other side, I've got this other bracket, which is going to go into the holes here. Push that all the way in. I'm not gluing this because it's really tight. In fact, it's so tight, I'm having trouble getting it in. I'm having to use my hammer to ensure that's going in all the way. And it does need to go in all the way because we do want this to align at the end just there. So take what we've created here, and I want to thread the cable for the electric light through here. I want to mount this underneath this gun this way round, so this forward bracket here is facing towards the barrel, and then there's a lug for this gun just to push that into place there. Again, it does take a little pushing and pulling to get that in there. Now I want to attach this with PP screws each side here, and there you go, that's how that's looking. I then got this tiny concertina section just like this. Now one of these sides is slightly larger, which I've got here. Now they're going to go into the two holes here, the larger one just at the one nearer the wire. I'm going to be holding this in with an EP screw. Actually two, one at the top, one at the bottom. Time to get my very tiny screwdriver out now, because these screws certainly are very tiny. Once you've got one in though, it should be easier to get the second one in. And when they're both in, they should look like that. Now on the front section here, I've got, this looks like a hydraulic piston, which is going to be going onto the two parts here. Now this one's going into the middle of the bracket at the top, and then it's going onto the front just like that. Once again, held in with these tiny EP screws. A lot of detail in this. as you can see. Now, D-shaped pattern just for this back section here, which is an extremely tight fit, but when it's in, it should look like that. We don't use glue on this, but this part here is going to go in next. And it's clipping into the sides here. So one this side and one that side. So that's in just like that. Then I've got this larger bracket to go in. So this end is going into the hole just at the back here, under the barrel. And then the back section is just going to be fitting onto the part we just put in, which means this bottom bar does tilt up to meet it. And there you go. When that's in, it should look like that. Not many parts left now. I've got an assembly now just to put onto the underside here, which looks just like this. And I've just wiggled that into place there, as you can see. I can just put that to one side. That looks amazing. Okay. Taking out the actual base for this now. And again, I'm just pushing this detail into here. I haven't glued any of these. Just wiggling them into position. Then I want to put a bearing in. The bearing's going into the top just like that there. And I'm now at a stage that I can actually mount this, which means I need to pass this cable through the hole just next to the bearing there. Pull that through. Whoops, bearing just fell out. Let's put that back in. And I'm going to be mounting this into position. So it's on top there, able to swivel. Turn it upside down. I'm holding it in with one of these flanged GP screws. And there you go. That is in position. Pretty cool, huh? Now I do want to keep this wire under control. So we do have a clip here. So I'm just going to put the clip over the back of the wire here. Push that into place. As you can see, it's going to keep that wire under control there. But that amazing gun is all there is to do in that stage. So at stage 62, I'm going to be building some more of the bottom of the display base. So I'm bringing over what we created last time. I'm going to be adding a section to this. So once again, following the order how we had it, 3, 1 up. I'm going to be putting another connector just over the top of these two here and securing that in with the flange screws. And then I want to keep the tops in order now. So for that reason, I've got these clips here. Now, these are going to go in this way with the open side facing upwards, just like that. And again, I need 2 screws each one to keep these into place. There you go, that's how it's looking at the moment. Move it down. I'm going to be putting another one in exactly the same way. 3 up. Put a section in there. And then again, 2 screws to hold this in. Now I'm just making space now because what I'm going to do is move this up because I'm going to be starting to put the next plate just into here. Again, having it the same way round. 3 and up. It's going to go in to this position just at the end here. And 1 screw just to hold that into that edge just there. And with that into place, that's the base done. I can put that to one side because they do want me to make these Hellfire missiles again, which again, I will do these at the end, but it is a case of just pushing these 2 parts together. 1 and 2. There is a tab on these, so they can only go in one way. And then I'll be cutting out these details here, but I'm going to do all of those at the end because I have already made some of these. They do have the boxes for these to go in as well, which will have decals on eventually. Believe me, the drawer that has all this artillery in is full up. It's full up. There must be over 400 easily of stuff in there. So stage 63, we're going to be assembling the missile crates and parts for the Right Avionics Bay. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking this detail here, and I have got a clear plate to put over the top of this, and I need to match this up so that the lugs are the same as this clear plate. Just pushing that into position. So when that's in, that should look like that. I've then got a hinge to put it into place, just ensuring I've got it the right way round. So on the top camera, it needs to be this way. And I'm holding that in with SP screws. And then we're left with 3 sections here. Now, once again, we do have these Hellfire crates here, which we need to put decals on, which I'm not doing. I'm going to leave all of those to the end because we've done this before. So in stage 64, we're going to be assembling the Brimstone missiles and parts for the avionics bay. So again, the missiles I will leave to the end. There's hundreds of them, look at them. Put them to one side. We do have these parts for those as well. But I am going to continue this avionics bay here. And check this out. This is the first plate that I'm going to need. I've got a detail to push onto here first, just into these 2 lugs. Now there are smaller and bigger lugs here, so it's directional, can only go in one way. And get that pushed all the way in. That was quite tough actually to get that in, but as you can see it's in. All the rest of the stuff here we're going to be using later. We don't actually use it in this stage. This stage actually finishes us with assembling these missiles. So in stage 65, look, a large piece here. We're going to be assembling the Right Avionics Bay and ammunition door. So that looks like that. Just on the front here, I've got a lens to put in, which is just a push in. When that's in, it looks like that. On the front, I've got a tiny detail here to go in. It has got a slanted lug on it, so it can only go in one way to fit flush. Now this section that we made in the last stage is now going to be going on top here. And where those lugs have come through, we can just, that's what's going to hold this into place. So that that's in just like that. I can put that to one side because I'm going to be building the ammunition bay door now. Just laying it out like they've got it in the instructions. The first thing I do is take these sections, and this is going to be going on here just like that there. We need to glue this into place. So I'm going to put the glue directly just on this side here. And I'm going to hold this in with my clamp here. That will ensure that's in nice and tight. Turning this over on the other side here, we're going to be putting the middle section, which is going to go in just like that there. So again, I need to glue that into place. I'll be very careful where I'm putting the glue because I don't want to glue any of the actual moving parts of the hinge. There we go, that's in. Once again, use my clamp just to keep this in at the edges. Like that. It's looking a mess at the moment, but trust me, once it's done, it's going to look okay. Now they want me to put the other side of this on there, but while this is dried, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm going to be attaching this part hinge to this final end here. So I do need to make sure it's orientated correctly, so it's that way round. Put some glue on that. Got cotton buds at hand if I do have any excess glue on there. Get that off. See, and all I've got to do then is attach this to this section here. This is dried now. Let's just take these clamps off and just do a dry fit. So that's how it should look. You should have a tab on this side and plain on that side there. That looks excellent. Okay, let's glue this last bit in. And there you go. I'm just going to leave that to dry. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage here, nothing to do with the helicopter. We're actually going to be doing the steps which go up to the helicopter. And this does look like quite a quick stage actually. Let's just get all the parts out. I am going to be using glue again though. So glue at the ready. Because what I want to do is glue the ends of this brace here. Both sides. So I've got one going in here. It's a keyhole pattern, so it can only go in one way, just like that. I'm going to be gluing all of these steps in now, making sure that the yellow chevrons are pointing outwards. I'm after the one with 2 things on the end first. And these chevrons need to be near the top. So if I just put one in first, again, it's there is a danger you could put that in upside down, but you can see it needs to be that way around, so it's near the top. I'm then going to be putting all the singles in, going all the way down the run here. Just make sure on this one that you're only putting glue around the lug, because there's not much surface area to glue these to. Now, because of the shape of it, it should keep them straight. And there you go. They're all in there. This bit's going to be pretty hard now, because we don't want the glue to dry, because we may need to adjust this as we put the top in. So that's why now I'm going to put top glue just on all of these sections here. And I'm hoping that now we can line everything up so this top will be able to go on no problems at all. I can see this being a little bit fun. Okay. Just takes micro adjustments here. Tweezers at hand to help me out. But I'm pretty confident this is going well at the moment. As a matter of fact, I'd say that's gone pretty perfect. It's straight, it looks good, and that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. That was quite a fun pack. Just so you know, I didn't do any of the artillery, and the recording time for this is 1 hour 15 minutes. That wasn't too bad, was it? We've done quite a bit in this one as well. As I said, I do have pack 9 here. Is that what we're on now? So that'll be the next pack. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.